The film opens on a snow-covered mountain range revealing a secluded cave, whose interior holds a distinct sense of mystery. The story shifts to Abby and her sister, Beth. Following their mother's death, Abby's life centered entirely on Beth. Their peaceful existence was shattered by the diagnosis of late-stage cancer for Beth. Though initially devastated, Beth found a renewed will to fight. Abby urgently sought alternative treatments, and learned of a pharmaceutical research firm claiming a breakthrough drug for late-stage cancer patients. The crucial obstacle was the astronomical cost of this therapy. To finance the treatment, Abby took on a high-risk assignment, a geologist position near the frigid border of Europe and Russia, tasked with finding uranium in the mountains. Despite the very real danger to her life, the massive financial reward made the job necessary. Abby worked tirelessly but found no uranium for days. She proposed entering the denser forest to her colleague, who refused the life-threatening risk and pointed out they'd crossed the restricted Russian border. Frustrated, Abby became desperate. That night, Abby's father called with the grim news of Beth's worsening health. An added worry was the company's lack of an advance payment, which could have started the treatment. Knowing the advance depended on finding uranium, Abby decided to proceed into the dense forest alone the next day. Her colleague warned her about wildlife, refused to join, but gave her a gun before she departed. A short distance in, she heard strange noises. Drawing her gun, thinking it was an animal, she noticed a black stone on the ground that seemed to be the source of the sound. Picking it up, she sensed its immense value. Despite being a geologist, she had never encountered such a stone. Abby returned to base with the stone but kept it secret from the company, hoping to sell it privately for Beth's funds. Another call from her father confirmed Beth was deteriorating, prompting Abby to decide to leave immediately. She informed her colleague she wouldn't be returning. Abby needed a helicopter to exit. Mid-flight, she spotted a peculiar object outside the window, mistaking it for a feather until the helicopter struck it and began to crash. Regaining consciousness, she saw one pilot was dead and the other critically injured. After providing first aid, she searched for a radio to call for help, but the first was missing and the communication system was broken. She realized they were stranded and panicked. She calculated their position using a map and compass. The nearest road was 60 kilometers away. Getting there injured and in that weather would be an immense challenge. As night fell, Abby built a fire hoping to draw attention. She desperately tried to keep the injured pilot warm, but he died before morning. No one saw the fire. Realizing waiting was futile, she packed essentials, food, water, the gun, and a walkie-talkie, and resumed her journey. The walkie-talkie signal was weak due to a low battery. Abby charged it with the helicopter's battery and heard a voice, "John." Coincidentally, his helicopter had also crashed nearby. John described his surroundings, a lake and forest, and his injuries, partial immobility and a severely hurt leg. His communication system was also broken, preventing a rescue call. Crucially, John had a superior radio that Abby could potentially repair and use with her charged battery. The map showed John was only 30 kilometers away, compared to 60 kilometers to the road. Abby chose to go to John, despite his ominous warning, "It's the wrong way, the path is treacherous, my equipment may not work as you hope." Abby remained resolute. She couldn't afford the time to wait by the road, she had to reach her sister. During their radio conversations, Abby mentioned being a geologist, and John instantly replied, "Then you came here for uranium." Startled, Abby wondered how he knew. Abby built a shelter for the night. Before resting, she examined the black stone, which miraculously began to change shape in her hand, allowing her to mold it as she wished. This baffled her. Was it some alien rock or advanced technology? The next morning, Abby continued alone through the snow. John continuously tried to contact her via radio. Abby rebuked him, fearing the battery drain. She turned off the radio to focus. A new challenge appeared, scaling a sheer, difficult mountain. Feeling defeated, she radioed John, who simply said, "Go if you must. I'll remember your effort to save me, and I'll pray for your sister." Abby sank into despair, lamenting her sister's poor prognosis. John advised, "You can't save everyone." Infuriated, she shouted, "I need inspiration, not advice to move on." "Do what you believe is right," he concluded. Abby started the perilous climb. Her knife broke while trying to secure a grip. Remembering the shape-shifting stone, she formed it into a knife and used it to continue, greatly aiding her ascent until she finally reached the summit. The descent was even more intimidating, a sheer drop. She transformed the stone into a long rope and used it to climb down. As soon as she reached the bottom, John contacted her, warning her that she was approaching the Russian border and risked being shot on sight. Terrified, Abby turned back, but her foot slipped. She tumbled down, injuring her leg badly. Bandaging the wound, she pressed on, determined not to lose time. She walked until twilight when she spotted a habitation. Desperate for help, Abby hurried to the settlement, but found it deserted. Exhausted, she decided to spend the night there. She found food, but it was spoiled. She re-bandaged her injured leg and gave herself an injection to speed healing. Abby woke to sounds the next morning and saw a Russian soldier nearby. Fearing capture as a European, she hid. Suspicious, the soldier entered the house after her. Abby had her gun ready. As the soldier appeared, she pointed the gun and accidentally shot him in the leg before he could react. In her fright, she took his rifle and demanded his pack. She was stunned to see he possessed a black stone identical to hers, also capable of changing shape and performing various functions. The soldier's walkie-talkie received a call. The speaker's voice was John's. Abby was shocked. How could one person be John and another to the soldier? She realized the entire ordeal was centered on the stone. She used the soldier's radio to ask John, "Who are you, and what do you want?" But got no response. Abby bandaged the injured soldier, offering, "If you need help, I can take you to your base." He claimed to be lost. John continued contacting Abby, his intentions unknown. Despite being enemies, one European, one Russian, they were both wounded and needed each other to continue, so they set aside their hostility. As they walked, the soldier's wound worsened. John continued his unsettling communication, seemingly trying to instill fear of the soldier in Abby. Realizing John was somehow connected to her black stone, Abby fearfully took her stone from her bag and threw it away. Suddenly, the ice in the lake under the soldier's feet cracked, and he plunged in. As Abby tried to help, the ice beneath her also broke, and she fell into the freezing water. Despite the paralyzing cold, she managed to pull herself out. She screamed for help, but no one responded. To retain heat, she stripped off her wet clothes. John's voice returned. In a fury, she threw away the radio's battery, yet still heard his voice. Finally, due to exhaustion and injury, she fell asleep in the cold. In her sleep, she remembered cherished moments with her sister. She woke to the sound of a helicopter and was overjoyed. She tried to signal it but was too weak to move. Abby then found herself at the edge of a cave. Her strength depleted, she collapsed, falling and rolling into the cave, the same cave from the film's opening. The cave contained warm water, a relief to Abby. In the water was a skeleton in a pilot's uniform, labeled John. Was the John she spoke to already dead? Numerous glowing black stones floated up from the water and merged with Abby's body. Waking in this strange environment, she was bewildered. The black stones were everywhere, flying around her. John's voice returned. He revealed that 65 years ago, he, like Abby, had been trapped here. She understood this was not a normal accident and these were not normal stones. They had caused the helicopter crash. She realized they were alien entities, or a non-human life form existing on Earth for millennia. They required humans for existence, but unlike typical aliens, they didn't kill or harm, but rather kept them here with their consent. The stones had given John life, but not a human life. John then offered Abby the chance to have a similar life, but she refused to join the alien system. She wanted only to return to her sister. The moment she spoke, she was magically transported out of her predicament, and found herself in front of her house. She went inside and saw her sister, but realized this was an illusion created by the alien entities. Waking up again, she was at the house's doorway. Opening the door revealed only a blizzard. Abby walked into the storm, and as the image blurred, rescuers found and saved her. She later awoke in her friend's apartment. Without delay, she rushed to her sister. Upon arriving home, she witnessed her sister taking her final breaths. Abby was finally reunited with her. She was there for her sister's last moments, fulfilling the one wish the aliens had granted her, to be with her sister at the very end. With her father present, she was mentally prepared for her sister's passing. The film concludes on this emotional scene.